Strong magnitude 4.1 earthquake and swarm strikes the geysers in California. It's in the area of the Clear Lake volcanic field, and as we know, it has a great number of geothermal plants there. It's the biggest geothermal plant in the world. It's been having quakes for months now, and they have had an increase because of the establishment of the geothermal plants there. This is what you can see right there. There's Clear Lake, and it's in between Medicine Lake, Mount Shasta, Lassen Peak, Soda Lake's Long Valley Caldera. Now we have had the Lake Tahoe earthquake lately, which is just about in between Long Valley Caldera and Lassen Peak. So it's not a surprise that we had a bigger earthquake in Clear Lake because it's in the same vicinity. And we also have the earthquakes going on in Utah, and it's in the same mantle plume, same magma body that runs originating from Baja California. To the west, it goes up to the high threat volcanoes of the west coast, and to the east, it runs through Utah and all the way up to Yellowstone supervolcano. As you can see here, on the left is the mantle plume, the magma underneath, and that shows you that it's into Utah and Yellowstone as well. Let's take a look at the map. So Clear Lake, this is the geysers right here. It's in the area. This is the Clear Lake area. Let's take off the small earthquakes. As you can see, they're still ongoing. They've been ongoing for months. And basically, there's been an increase of earthquakes because of the geothermal activity going on there. Okay. But they're usually small. This one here, take off this little one so we can see. And it'll take some time. Let's see. Come on. There we go. So that's a 4.1, the shallow earthquake 4.1. And coming back out, this is our Clear Lake area. And okay, let's go to Google Earth. As you can see, that's it right there, the Clear Lake volcanic field. Okay, and here we have Lake Tahoe. That's where we had the earlier quakes that were quite large. And we said, okay, look, it's basically in the same area. Okay, Lassen Peak, Mount Shasta, Long Valley, as we said. And here we have the Baja California, where the mantle starts from, the mantle plume going west this way, and through Utah and into Yellowstone right there. And there's a split because of the fact that there is the ancient Farallon plate lodged underneath the west coast, pushing the magma into Yellowstone right there. Let's pull out a little bit again because I did not see what's going on basically today. Utah, I'm sure, has more earthquakes. It's been ongoing right there. Salt Lake City. There we go. Okay, you can see it's still ongoing. And that's the mantle plume this way. We've talked about the mid-continental rift that goes here. That's where we're having all these quakes here. That mantle plume is a very ancient mantle plume, about a billion years old, and it goes up to Texas and New Mexico, as we saw yesterday. That mantle plume goes to Texas and New Mexico, but we're talking about this right now. It has been reported to USGS, felt by 217 people, even though we don't have that many people living there. This is the shake map of the area. That's Lake Tahoe over there. This is a shake map of the area. And you can see that if we put on the population, it's not that much of a population because of the fact that they have been shaken all over. You can see even the dense populations there. It's 4.1. Let's pull out again. Okay. Where are we? There we go. Let's pull it again. Okay. So Sacramento definitely must have been shaken. Okay. There we go. San Francisco, was it shaken? Let's see if San Francisco was shaken. Yes, it was shaken. San Francisco was shaken, as you can see. Usually the quake block stops. It just stops there, you see? It stops, but if you extrapolate the lines, it looks like the Bay Area could have been right here. San Francisco Bay Area could have been shaken as well. Maybe that's what it looks like. Yes, that's it right there. So it was shaken. San Francisco was shaken, it looks like, right there. That's it right there that we see. Okay, and the Clear Lake volcano, typical eruption style, lava domes. Clear Lake volcano field, volcanic fields, California, 135 kilometers north of San Francisco. The volcanic field consists of lava dome complexes, cinder cones, and maars of ballistic rhyolite to rhyolite composition. Mount Konocti, the dacitite lava dome to the south shore of Clear Lake, is the largest volcanic feature. The area has intense geothermal activity caused by a large, still hot silicic magma chamber about 14 kilometers wide, 7 kilometers under the surface. That's about 4 miles down. It provides the heat source for the geysers, the world's largest producing geothermal field, on the southwest side of the volcanic field. Yes, on the southwest, that's south, this is west, that's southwest of the volcanic field, the geysers, the biggest geothermal plant in the world. The largest producing geothermal field. Its geothermal power plants can generate approximately 2,000 megawatts, enough power to power 2 cities the size of San Francisco. The latest volcanic activity happened about 10,000 years ago and formed maars and cinder cones along the shores of Clear Lake, the largest natural freshwater lake in California. Volcanism around Clear Lake is related to the complex San Andreas transform fault. Volcanic activity has been largely non-explosive, and the exception of one major explosive eruption that must have occurred and deposited an airfall tuff. Most lavas found here range from basalt through rhyolite in composition, dacite being the most dominant. Eruptions at Clear Lake volcano, 4 eruptive episodes separated by time gaps of about 150 to 200,000 years, and recognized 2.1, 1.3 million years ago. Does that sound familiar? That's exactly the time that Yellowstone erupted. The super-eruptions of Yellowstone were 2.1 million years ago, 1.3 million years ago, and 640,000 years ago. There we go. There we go. That's when Clear Lake also erupted. And 70,000 years ago, Yellowstone also had a lava eruption, and then another 80 eruptions since then. Isn't it strange that Clear Lake erupted the exact same times as Yellowstone? The total volume of about 100 individual eruptions exceeds 70 cubic kilometers. The eruptive products from the first activity episode found in the east of the field. Okay, look, I'm not making this up. This is USGS and Volcano Discovery. It erupted the same exact times as the Yellowstone super-eruptions. Now going to USGS, this is it, the geothermal field of the geysers in the Clear Lake area. Okay, volume estimates, fell site indication, intrusive body is probably larger than the erupted volume of the volcanic field. So it's got magma underneath, that's why it's got so much steam building up, and they're using it for energy production. Steam production at the geysers seems to be related to the distribution of the shallowest steam near the shallowest reports of the fell site. Today's geothermal power plant production is entirely from the steam in the geysers' vapor-dominated field. which is located in the southwest margin of the volcanic field. Studies of hydrothermal mineralogy in drill cores and cuttings indicate that a hot water system exists in the geysers. So there are geysers there, they're just using them. Okay, there are geysers like we have in Yellowstone. We have geysers there as we have in Yellowstone. That's why it's called the geysers. Okay, that's where they have the geothermal plant at the geysers. Despite the name of the steam field, no natural geysers exist. The Geyser Clear Lake area, the name was suggested to early explorers. Fumarolic activity. It's got the fumaroles, and steam rising from hot springs in the water later became the earliest developed part of the steam field. The geothermal fields include 1.66 million year basalt of Cadwell pines and wraps around the northwest, rhyolite and dacite, Cobb Mountain. Otherwise, the geothermal field is entirely within the area of the Franciscan complex. Okay, that's getting a little bit geological. Numerous geothermal wells are located in the Marianas Mountains north of San Francisco. The geysers cover 45 square miles between Lake Mendocino and Sonoma counties, provide power to Sonoma, Mendocino, Lake, Marin, and Napa counties. Commercial geothermal power has been continuously generated at the geysers since 1960, and it's the largest complex of geothermal power plants in the world. There are 18 geothermal plants which use heat from the Earth's interior to produce electricity around the clock, and the plant produces about 835 megawatts of electricity. So this is very interesting that it erupted. Let's keep that clear. We already said that it's the magma plume, the same magma plume that supplies the West Coast, also supplies Yellowstone supervolcano. And they recently, I think it was April of last year, came out with that beautiful map that we showed with the diagonal section showing the mantle plume and the hot magma underneath. And it's going this way, feeding the West Coast, high threat volcanoes, and the other part goes this way through Utah and into Yellowstone supervolcano, and that pin is right over Yellowstone Lake. So please be careful, all of you in California. Let's go back to see the quakes again. Okay, these are all the small quakes as well. And we did say that Salt Lake City, the geologists, 10 years ago? I did a video yesterday on the Salt Lake City earthquakes that they had expressed their warning. They came out with an announcement saying that the stresses are very high there. And they do expect that it's really overdue. I mean, every 350 years or so, they have a large quake, like around 7 or 7.5. And it's been about 2,100 years since they had a quake that big. And so it's really overdue, they said. Now we all of a sudden, like 4 or 5 days ago, and every single day, we've been having these quakes. It started with a 5.7. And we've been having all these quakes, and they're still ongoing. All the blue is today's quakes. Look at that. Okay. And that's very... it's about 2.8 million people living in the area that would surround this area. This Great Salt Lake and Utah Lake, that was at 1.1. That's very shallow there. You can see that's a swamp. This is a lake fill. This is a filled up lake. That's a very soft sediment there. And they have liquefaction areas there, which is very dangerous for volcanoes. The Mormon Temple of the Latter-day Saints has already sustained damage to the spire and the statue. But it's on the fault line going to, the magma, with it's under there running from Baja all the way to Yellowstone. And that's the same body going to the west. So, and if we take this off, take the little ones off again, go back to the bigger ones, and take a few moments, there we go. Okay, this is where we had the Lake Tahoe quake, as you can see there, right there. That's the one right opposite it, right there, you see. Carson City. Okay, Lake Tahoe, as you can see right there. Okay. That's it. That was a 4.5, so it was just about the same as this one. And how far is that? Let's see. Everything seems so squashed in and close over there. Okay, let's go. Lake Tahoe. Okay, it's about 140 miles. Okay, 140 miles. This is on the San Andreas Fault, whereas Lake Tahoe is on the Walker Lane Fault system. Okay. So all of you there, please be very careful, because I'm sure you felt it in San Francisco. Thank you for your support. Please be strong. Please strengthen your faith and do more work to glorify God. God bless you. Thank you. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.